Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today guys, I have got a ladder game and it is between VortiX, the red Zerg player in the lower left position, who is up against Millennium's Adel the blue Protoss in the top right, and of course both of these players are absolutely spectacular, so I cannot wait to see what's happening and I cannot wait to see what they are gonna do, because it should be completely baller and I'm so excited. Because Christmas is over. And I know that sounds really grinchy and grumpy of me, but let's face it. 2 whole days of being like smiling, seeing family. It's great, but when it's over, it's just like, whoo! I can relax now, get back into my usual schedule of casting games every single day. Going to the gym, because my gym schedule hasn't been knocked off and everything. Talking of gym schedules, I got an awesome present, which was a Nike Fuel Band. Which, if you haven't seen them, give it a Google. It's basically the future. Like, it looks like this rubber band, like a rubber wrist thingy, rubber bracelet. I was trying to think of the right word there. But as you like move, it monitors all your movement and syncs to my iPhone, and it's just like, it's got this cool LED slip in it, which is invisible until you press a button and then it lights up and it's like, oh my god, it's the future, it's magic. As you can tell, I'm really quite easy to please. But, back to the game. Forge first out of Adel. No, not Forge first. I called it because of the minerals. The gateway first. Ooh. Oh, this is always exciting. VortiX, meanwhile, getting up the spawning pool, that's to be expected. 14, no, it's a 15 pool, sorry. 15 pool, should see about 16 hatch. 4 minute 20 rather. Third base, that should be all fairly normal. And as a result, we should see a fairly standard game. The gas coming down, normal time. Well, actually, early timing, to be fair, if you're going to be going for a Forge Fast expansion or a Nexus first. But the Overlord, luckily, is about to come in and be like, hey, that's not a Forge, what are you doing? That will probably force VortiX to make a couple of Zerglings just in response, essentially. You'll get probably 4, I'd imagine. He may just stick with 2. It depends on how threatened he feels. If something starts making out of this, he'll definitely make some Zerglings, but he's going to come and check, because it's really important. If nothing is made, actually just blindly making 4 Zerglings straight away in preparation. It was just a 1-gate expansion, so all fairly normal. You see some Protoss players going for this sort of build instead. The Overlord, I do believe, can see it, so that's all good. Nothing to worry about there. The important thing the Overlord is scouting, though, is that this gateway is not making anything. If it was making a unit, suddenly it'd be a little more dangerous. This probe does need to be careful, though, because basically if it doesn't come and sit in this wall off, if you skip the Zealot for this long, you can suddenly get Zerglings in your base, and 4 Zerglings may not seem like the worst thing in the world, but they are going to be irritating, and of course no scouting information is going to go off, and I genuinely don't think Adel is going to scout this. There goes the pylon, and as a result these Zerglings are going to come straight in, and if they start chipping away at something, that's going to be problems. But of course the Zealot is straight away there. The pylon is to be destroyed, and there goes the chrono boost, forcing a chrono boost on the Zealot very, very early on. Of course, this will now get cleaned up. We've got the Zerglings trying to deal with a good little micro potential coming down here, trying his absolute hardest, the little Zerglings that could, but unfortunately they couldn't. And that was the end of the story. The little Zerglings that could, then couldn't. And that is such a shame. VortiX, though, because he got those 4 Zerglings out earlier, this base delayed. He doesn't have enough money for it now, so I expect to see it imminently. He's also got his second queen up there, so that is good news for him. Where are those Zerglings gone? Where are they? Zerglings! Ah, there you are. You're just chilling. I made my little cousins run around like Zerglings. I also downloaded a cool app at Christmas, which is the GG button. It was free, and you just press it and it does the GG button noise, and I convinced all my baby cousins to start saying GG pretty much every time they did anything, which is incredibly annoying. Every time I won a board game, I hit the GG button. I quickly wasn't allowed to play any more board games with my family. I made my little cousins, as I said, run around like Zerglings. I made them roll around like banelings. It was brilliant fun. And my aunt and uncle aren't too happy with me anymore, but that is beside the point. I bought them Nerf guns for their for Christmas last year, and that is of course basically leading on the way I want to continue treating them, just to make them as annoying as possible. But anyway, looking around, not too much going on. Lair timing coming down. The big thing I'm noticing though, lack of this third base, pretty huge, with roaches, with lair. It's gonna be a roach ling push. You can't really delay this third base, by effectively 2 whole minutes, and then not be super, super aggressive. Burrow coming down, there comes down the roach speed upgrade as well, so yep, to be expected. 4 more gateways being added on, so that takes up to 5 gate. Enough to be defensive, but not but still not too many to prevent this third base coming down at a reasonable time. So Adel really just focusing on, hey, I'm going to get up my economy, I'm going to take my third base, macro, macro, macro. Whereas VortiX is just like kill, kill, kill. He does not want to play nicely. Getting up those 7 roaches very, very quickly. He's going to get more injects coming down. Of course, seeing here the roach speed upgrade is pretty much half done now. This push going to come over, going to be met by quite a few roaches though. So that in itself is going to be a problem. We've got one probe coming up here. Going to see the lack of that third base. That will be worrying. Adel should chuck down a couple of additional gateways right now, in my opinion, just in order to make sure he defends it, because as long as he defends this push and defends all of these roaches, he's fine, because at the end of the day, he's got his natural base up, he's on equal workers pretty much, and there's no third base for the Zerg, which means, hey, that's good news for Protoss times. If I just produce lots of units now, I'm safe, I'm not going to die. Burrow goes down on these roaches, more roaches coming across. We've got this move up, and of course, this is looking pretty threatening for Adel right now. This is quite a few units, infestation pick coming down as well. So VortiX, he's got to do something impressive, to be honest, because otherwise he's going to be running into some problems. More roaches on the way out. This Burrow, nice, because hopefully the Protoss army will come over this, the Burrow will come down, instance around, of course, picking off the 1 sentry, so very, very few force fields. Are we going to see it go? There's the Burrow. Good damage being done, good surround, but of course, is there enough roaches? Another reburrow. This is very, very frustrating indeed. The Overlord on its way through. Another unburrow. Got to try and do some absolutely incredible stuff with Burrow Micro. Reburrowing the roaches, ASAP, unburrowing, but more Zealots streaming in. They are surrounding the Stalkers are there as well. I think this is going to be it for VortiX, to be honest. He's got 8 more roaches in production. He's having to run all of his drones away though. Lost mining time. There's such a forward pylon down here as well. That's huge, huge problems for him. VortiX, he's trying to do the best he can, but these Stalkers still alive. The Zealots still alive. And, well, as long as Adel does some good damage against these roaches, he should be fine. But got a micro back with these Stalkers because he doesn't want to lose those. VortiX doing an incredible job of actually holding this. Incredible Burrow micro as well, and takes the supply lead. He is doing astounding things here. The Zealots are still pushing forward though, and that next warp-in was pretty big. We've got 8 more roaches on their way out though. Of course, we do have Tunneling Claws about to finish. That's a very, very important upgrade in this situation, because you need to be able to move those roaches. It will help you massively. And there we go, some movement coming down here. No observer or anything though to give vision of these roaches. They all reburrow yet again. A good little attack arc coming down, trying to get as much coverage as possible. Of course, now the Burrow Micro will heal up those roaches so quickly, allowing them to be incredibly cost effective, assuming of course they do stay alive. The Unburrow coming down, but yet again VortiX looks to be on the ropes. He is in such trouble right now, but somehow he's still holding on. And a Nexus, Adel building a Nexus in your opponent's base. 2 Nexi in your opponent's base. I'm not sure if that would be considered BM. I'm pretty sure I would consider that BM, building 2 Nexi in your opponent's base. It's pretty funny as well, but I'd call that BM. What do you reckon? Tell me in the comments below. Do you think it's BM building 2 Nexi in your opponent's base when you are just pushing? Can Adel even afford those resources? Very, very low on gas. He hasn't been attacked behind this, he just only has 1 gas, so he's struggling to make anything other than quite a few Zealots. And VortiX is somehow pushing back and taking this. I have no clue how VortiX is holding this. His Burrow Micro is just absolutely baller. The 2 Nexi being forced to cancel. Adel with massive egg on his face right now, just being like, hey, I'm so far ahead, I'm going to build 2 Nexi in your base. And then he's like, oh, all of my units are dead. Zerg OP, basically, is what he's probably thinking right now. Zerg is super, super OP. Meanwhile, though, this is the problem. 24 workers to 37. What happened? VortiX didn't kill anything, so this is what's really confusing me. Adel going to lose so many pylons, though. Of course, droning VortiX. Got to get up more queens as well. He's got no queens at the moment, which means his lava production is going to be absolutely terrible. He's going to have hardly any units on the field, so he's kind of got to win right now. So Adel has just got to be pretty careful. As long as he holds this position, he should be fine, but the lack of gas is really going to start hurting. Could do with some sentries, to be honest. These pylons are getting taken down. Adel does not get supply block, luckily, so that is okay. Meanwhile, of course, the queens, 1 queen is up, no 2nd queen. Pathogen glands on the way, because if you need anything when you're at only 30 drones, 13 minutes into the game, it is, of course, infestors. We do have photon cannons coming down. This will grant detection, but in come the roaches. The roaches cannot engage by those cannons. They really desperately do not want to engage by the cannons. They've got to get away. ASAP. No, keep going, roaches. Roaches, there's a cannon there. You've got to be careful of this sort of thing. VortiX going for some counter aggression. This game is shaping up to be absolutely brilliant. I'm loving it. And, well, here we go. The roaches at the front. The roaches in the back. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Oh, the Unburrow comes down. There, of course, is the photon cannon. But look at the probes. The probes are dying. Adel not pulling his units back. Not pulling the probes either. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. This is a lot of dead probes right now. This is a bad time. The photon cannon gets sniped off. And there's the burrow. Oh, my God. That burrow was so funny. And Adel GG's. He's just like, oh, I can't do anything about this. I've lost all my workers. It went down to, what was that? 28 probes to 36. That game was so damn funky. I love that. That was brilliant. Anyway, guys, like the video if you like that game as much as I clearly did. Leave a cool comment and subscribe. I get new games up every single day of the week. So I was Madals. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow for yet another new game. Bye for now.